Hey, what's up? We're Life Without Pants here with another Path of Exile video, and in today's video we're going to go over how our build has gone, our Lightning Arrow Artillery Ballista League Starter. I'm going to just chuck a map in here. It's a Dunes T16 map. I'm going to put in a Breach Scarab and a Legion Scarab. Now, there's a few things that we have progressed with. So in the original League Starter, I had basically a way for you to get to red maps. Once you get to red maps, I think the build really can take off, depending on which way you go with it. It's such a good mapper, it's insane. So let's jump into our map. I'm just going to take it with... I'm Expedition spec'd on the tree at the moment. Expedition and Heist, so I've taken the Heist wheels. I've taken some Expedition wheels. This is also Expedition, provided that you're using a Sextant. I was thinking about going with Stream of Consciousness, but I wanted the, you know, the bonuses that you get from more than just a regular rusted scarab. So the first thing you may notice is that when I fire my lightning arrow, all the projectiles come back to me, and that's because we're using the Vengeant Cascade on our Amulet. So I'll get into that in a second. I'll just show you how it looks in the T16 map. My gear, I think it's safe to say, is pretty trash. It's pretty bad. And it still performs very, very well. It's a lot of, you know, the best defense is a good offense kind of thing. It's not, I wouldn't say it's 6 portal gaming, but it's definitely 2. So let's, oh, we actually get an expedition. Let's just find the breach, because that's a really, really good example of why Vengeant Cascade is such a good thing to get on your, oh wow, we found a Cosprees. So you go into the breach and you can just fire. You could just use the right click. It's pretty easy, and you can just zoom around. Breach as a mechanic, I wouldn't recommend it, honestly. Oh, I've got to remember to actually use my artillery ballistas as well. But yeah, breach as a mechanic is not very good. It was reworked this league, which means that it's been nerfed completely. I haven't seen really good, anybody talking charitably about Breach online. Everybody seems to be very, very upset with it. Or not upset, but just disappointed, I suppose. So that was the map boss. It's pretty easy to clear these maps. The legions, those can be, well, it was one of my early league start strategies was Legion, and it made us a bunch of currency to start off with. There was a pylon around here somewhere, I think. Oh, here we go. So I would just set up all my totems in the middle and then do this. And then, you know, and if there are, I don't think we got any generals this time, but I was having particular problems with the generals, especially Sanctus Vox. God, I hate that guy. Oh, he's literally the worst. And Legion kind of fell off for a bit, but you know, currency-wise, because I think Grimro was doing it as well. So that's, you know, as soon as any big streamer gets, you know, either does or promotes a particular strategy, then obviously that strategy is then worth a lot less, or rather, you know, the margins become a lot more thin. So this is what our T16 looks like. We've got 12 monsters left. It was pretty easy. I've been living in dunes pretty much for the whole league. Okay, so let's jump back into our hideout and let's talk about our gear. Okay, so I've looted that map and we can take a look at our gear now. My bow is really bad, so bear in mind that my gear is pretty trash, and this means that if your gear is better, then you're going to have a way better time farming than I'm having. And I'm having a pretty good time farming. It's really, honestly, it's been very decent. So my bow, I think, is like is 881 total LE DPS, or total DPS, but 753. And I got, I think, not super lucky with my tree. I got a little bit of lightning damage and 0.6 to crit chance. I haven't played around with the league mechanic too much, been too busy farming. So the rest of the things on this tree weren't very, very good. So I think probably I could definitely get this bow a lot better if I played around with the league mechanic. But this is literally, I just put on a couple of, I bought a fractured base, the increased crit strike chance base, and I think it was 20 chaos, 30 chaos, something like that. And then I put on an essence. I hit the T1 crit multi and T3 fire, and I also hit like T20. Terrible fizz damage, like 1 to 2 fizz damage. I got so I YOLO annulled it. We got lucky and removed the prefix, removed the fizz damage, and it wasn't the first time I YOLO annulled. There were a few other attempts before. You can check them all out on twitch.tv/lifewithoutpants, where we've been progressing this build. And then we auged. Yeah, I put on the lightning damage with the crafting bench, and then we YOLO exalted and got proj speed, which for this build is really, really good because on our tree we have the bow mastery, increases and reductions to projectile speed, also apply to damage with bows. So that means that we just got a flat 37% increased damage with bows. Shadows and Dust, we haven't changed these. These are the same pair I got on day 1. I've got the taming just because it's a really, really bad taming as well. The only roll on this is 20 to 30% elemental resistances, and I got 21. And later on in the league, you know, in day 4 or day 5, I think I bought Beric's Respite and made another taming, and I got 20 to all res. So, literally the worst. Our boots, I think I paid 20C, I think, for a fractured 49 strength. This build is a little strength and intelligence starved, so I went for 49 strength fractured boots, and then I think I just ran with this was just a lightning essence. That's it. And I had lightning essence since I got T2 life. It's not even that good. And then crafted on move speed, and yeah, you can buy better boots than this for 10C, so maybe I should invest in that. This belt, pretty much the same thing. I bought 4 resistance catalysts, you know, the prismatic ones, and then I threw on a couple of essences. I got T1 fire from the essence and T4 lightning, and then I crafted on life. So this is a really, really bad belt. I think this I found in my stash. 3% chance to gain phasing on 4 seconds on kill. We already have phasing through our ascendancy, so that does nothing. And it was just life and crit strike multi, and I corrupted a few others as well, hoping to get corrupted blood immunity. I didn't. Our body armor, this is just it's just a 6 link, and again, there's an essence spam. So we put on, I think we used 4 deafening essences of greed, so that's the increased maximum life, and we got 1 T5 resistance and an open suffix. So that is really, really bad. Obviously, we've got some Eldritch implicits here, and this was, I think I used 4 in total, and they were just ones I dropped. I've been selling everything else. The helmet, I actually paid a little bit of money for this because the base, it's artillery ballista, fires 2 additional arrows, so this does pump up your artillery ballista damage quite significantly. There's a couple of breakpoints for artillery ballista. I think you fire 5 arrows normally, yeah, and then when you hit 7 and 9, then it's a lot of extra damage. So we're getting this multi-shot and Master Fletcher on the tree, so that gives us those 2. And then with the helmet enchant, an extra 2. So it was really, really good there. And I think I just used not like a shrieking essence, chaos resistance essence, and then I got intelligence and cold resistance. So that was perfect. There's a little boop in the background there because one of my trade windows is live searching. I got a death rush. Death rush. These are excellent because you get the adrenaline. If you're going to get one of these, get at least 2 seconds. Gain adrenaline for 2 seconds on kill. I mean, number 1, chaos resistance. Brilliant. Love chaos resistance. It's fantastic. Recover 3% of life on kill. Not strictly necessary because we have Blood Drinker over here, so recover 2% of life on kill. And obviously that's 10% increased life. So we don't really care about what percent. I think that's the lowest one. Yeah, 3 to 5% life on kill. We don't care about that because we're definitely going to be taking Blood Drinker. But you want adrenaline for 2 seconds is pretty required. Our Poised Prism, this is the same one I've had since day one. Nothing has changed here. I think I used some Blessed Orbs to get it from 21% increased elemental damage with attack skills to 29. And that's the end of the investment there. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and here is Truth. Now this, I had Shaman's Dominion on, which is over here. Where is it? It's over here. So this is what I recommend as well. To start with, 60% increased crit strike chance with totem skills and plus 20 crit strike multi with totem skills. So this pumps up your artillery ballista damage significantly. This is really, really good. And somebody was in my chat, I think they're called FYI, and they were saying, oh, no, Vengeant Cascade is the best. You got to try Vengeant Cascade. Just Google it. And I didn't. And then I eventually figured out I would try it. Now, you won't find Vengeant Cascade on the tree because it's Annoint only. So if we go into Path of Building, and I have my Path of Building here. I'm going to put it in the description down below. But if you look at this here, you see Vengeant Cascade here, and it's Amber, Golden. And so it's quite expensive to start with. But it's 15% increased proj speed, which is just, 15% increased damage for us. And then attack projectiles return to you. And that's if they can. So, oops, excuse me. That's if they can. So, returning projectiles pierce all targets. I think this is going to get nerfed next league. It's like free Nimis, really. It's insanely good, and the clear is, so I was wrong when FY was in the chat, because if you do this, then you see all the projectiles come back to you, and I've got just a regular one here, and you just fire and then hope, and obviously you've got I think it's fork or chain here. Where is it? Chain support. So you will chain with your projectiles, but if they chain and then after that they come back, then they pierce all targets on the way back, so they deal a lot of damage on the way back as well. So it's really, really good to have Vengeant Cascade. I cannot recommend it enough. It's a huge upgrade for the build. It's worth 2 golden oils. It's worth 3 golden oils, honestly. So that's how our gear is looking. As far as skill gems go, pretty much everything is the same, except we've gone for auras. So the build is a little, you could be a bit more tanky. Obviously, it's a ranger. Rangers aren't super tanky, but raiders can be pretty tanky, and we've gone with I picked up an Enlighten. You don't have to use an Enlighten. You do not have to use one of these, but you can get Determination and Grace, and that gives you a bunch of extra. This one gives me 29% more evasion rating, and this one, the Determination, gives you 45% more armor. So it really pumps up your defenses. By doing it, you should have a decent bow, probably more decent than mine. Some people have been in my chat with 1.4k DPS bows. They're really, really good. I've taken Defiance Banner as well. So if you don't have the Enlighten in, then because you're using Precision from your Here's Truth, if you don't have, let me just actually allocate everything. So even with no Enlighten, you can still have Precision, Grace, and Determination on. The Enlighten for me is just so that I can fit in the Defiance Banner as well, which is just a little bit more tankiness. So swap to auras, it's really, really decent. You've actually got a free spot here as well. I put Val Haste in there as well, so when I'm running around, if there's if I'm in a really tight spot, I can just hit the space bar, I can activate my Val Haste. It can get you out of stuff pretty quickly. But yeah, life tap, support mark on hit, sniper's mark, flame dash, the usual stuff. My lightning arrow is GMP, Mirage Archer, chain, life tap, and Trinity, because we're triple elemental, so we should probably get some Trinity support. You get a lot more damage from using Trinity. Any damage with attacks on the artillery ballista with added cold damage, life tap, increased crit strikes, increased crit strikes support, and increased crit damage support. And then for my boots, I got life tap with molten shell and cast when damage taken. So occasionally, then I'll just get a little buff to my armor. So this is what the build is looking like now. You may be wondering how come after 5 days I have such terrible gear. It's because I've been farming up these. So I've got my 4 Mage Blood cards. I'm going to get the 5th, probably going to do it tonight on stream. So if you want to stop by and watch us turn this in to find out we only have 2 flasks and we need to divine it and I don't have any more money left, then come and have a look. It should be quite fun. But yeah, this build, honestly, this is my best League starter yet. I can talk very briefly about how I made my money as well. I started off, like I said, doing a lot of Legion. So I spec'd pretty heavily into Legion on the tree. I think it was in one of the videos as well. I'll put it in the link down below. And we got 4 cards that way. You get a truck ton of bubblegum currency from that. So I have 349 orbs of binding and a lot of like I've been selling stuff pretty much as quickly as I can get it. I have 7 ancient orbs and I haven't really been doing much Harbinger. I did a little bit of Harbinger originally because you get lots of orbs of horizons and it's really good like in the first day when you're pushing your Atlas. That's really, really good at that point. But since then, not really done it that much. I unspec'd from that pretty quickly because then you can pump up a bit more Legion on the tree. But yeah, this is what the builds got to at this point. I think I'm going to concentrate on getting the Mage. Oh, I should talk about Flasks, I guess. I just got automated Flasks. Crit on the crit flask. I went for Onslaught with attack speed, just because whatever. I did have a Jade Flask there, so if you're having issues with survivability, you can have a Jade Flask, but it's not that impactful because it only gives you 1.5k evasion, and you have so much already. So we have like 14.5k evasion, and if I just do my flasks, then I don't get anything at the moment. But I think I've got an evasion flask in here somewhere. I've got 1 or 2 flasks, so if you know anyone that needs a flask or 2, then I can provide one. So if we just take that out, then what do we get? Increased charge recovery. So if we go here, 14.5 to 21. I mean, it's decent, but I find that now I don't die as much. So if you're finding that you're dying too much, then get a Jade Flask instead of an Onslaught Flask. Onslaught is really, really nice. Don't get me wrong. It's just if you're dying, there's no point in having Onslaught. I just got movement speed on my movement speed flask, and armor on the granite flask. That's it. That's a super simple setup. It's worked for me. So if you have any questions, please stop by the Twitch channel. More than happy to help out with the build, or just drop a comment down below. I try to reply to everything. But yeah, that's it from me. I hope you're kind to everyone you meet. I love you all very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.